Hey everybody, Dave Raw, D-Dog for Dynamic Rainmakers out on another currying run, veterinary currying run. It's cold again, 18 degrees. It's snowing and icing over on the west side of town. On the east side of town where I am right now, it's not too bad, it's just cold. So get out there and do your currying work regardless of what the temperatures are, regardless of what the roads are. I've got samples to pick up. This is the thing about these veterinarian runs that are kind of different from the regular hospital medical, for humans. You get primarily three types of samples. You get blood, urine, and poop. Yes, poop. Those are usually in vials of some kind, and that's not really too bad. It's usually small. They're just little small packages, maybe about, 3 ounce or less Ziploc bag that's hermetically sealed. Or not hermetically sealed, it's a Ziploc bag. And in those are usually these little vials. They're plastic. Long time ago they used to be glass, but you can still have incidences if they don't put things on tight. Most of the time the things are in there pretty good, so I haven't had any spills yet. But I do have a spill kit just in case. It's a small one that the company provided me, and I do actually have my own that I bought off of Amazon. And that's one of the things you need to get. Other containers, we can have anything from like a gallon sized medical container. It looks like a paint container, but it's sterilized and everything for the specimens. And they usually put larger specimens of some kind in there. The other thing they can put it in is, and this is kind of gross, they put it in a gallon Ziploc bag, seal it up really good, then they double bag it into another Ziploc. That one you can see everything that's in there. The last one I had, it was like that. It had a spleen or something like that in there. That was kind of odd. It was big. And sometimes they just give these Tupperware containers. They're clear, so you still see what's inside. And most of the time there are these little containers. They're probably like half an ounce. They're like a little tiny jar, and those are pretty easy. So what you got to do when you do your counts, at least with the group I'm with, you got to count your jars or your larger containers separately from the samples. So at the end of the run, you usually count out how many jars you have, how many samples you have in a total. You write that on the outside of this large bag, and everything goes in there, and you give it, at least in my case, you give it to a transfer guy that takes it on to the next, like to the main lab or wherever they take it. I have been up to the main lab one time. It's pretty far from where I end my route, but I know where it's at, up in the southern part of Denver from Colorado Springs. So that's not too bad. But other than that, it's just a nightly thing. Just dealing with the elements, dealing with other drivers. The main thing is dealing with other drivers. It really depends on how fast you get your route done based on how much traffic there is, because things get really bad sometimes with traffic doing stupid things. And it also depends on the time of day with how your traffic is. Right now, it's not too bad because I'm kind of in the middle of two different rush hours. They have like a release from the military bases, and then they have a release from some of the manufacturing and warehouse areas I go to. So that's pretty much it. My first two stops are at one's at a veterinarian chain facility, and the other one is a smaller I guess just a regular business veterinarian. Then I go down to my third stop, and that's kind of a group that's out in the middle of, not really in the middle of nowhere, but they're set up for doing all sorts of animals, both small and large animals. Then I go back into town, go to another veterinarian actual office. The next place is usually a place that specializes in cats. That's all they have there. They take care of cats. Then I go to another chain one. It's the same group I picked up my first route, but it's a different part of town. From there, I go to a private group that's been around forever. I remember them when I was a kid. Let's see, from there I go to a place that's located inside of Walmart. It's a small chain group that's across the country. Let's see, what do I do after that? I go to another small standalone vet. Then I go into the core of the city to get stuff at a larger veterinarian office, and they usually have tons of samples for me. I've picked up to 30 sample bags from them. Then I go to a really small one. They usually just have one or two or none. Most of the time it's hardly any. Then on my final stop, I usually get 4 to 5 samples from, and that's the end of my route. You know, it's pretty simple. Then after, when I'm done, I let the transfer person know where I'm at, and he tells me where he is, and I just go drop the stuff off to him. That's it. I have it on my app. There's a way you can send in how many samples you have. I usually have to contact a dispatcher, because the actual office, the lab, I don't go to the lab. I stay down here in Colorado Springs, and I have to enter some code numbers and how many samples, how many bottles. One of the things I haven't come across yet are x-rays. It's on the list, but they don't do that. I haven't seen one yet, at least. And that's it. I mean, it's simple. There's just one group I do this for in the evenings, and it's no more than 3 hours usually. And that's really the end of my route. I mean, I don't get paid wonderful amounts, but I don't get paid too bad either. Right now, it's still good, even with the gas prices going up, and just keeps me busy. It's building up my amount so I can eventually get a small cargo van of some kind, and that's my main goal, so I can actually expand once I retire in a couple of years. So that's about all for today, guys. Leave things in the comments, questions, concerns. Be sure to like, share, and do things like that. Subscribe to my channel if you want to. You don't have to, but it would be nice if you would. And I really appreciate you guys listening to me. I know this can be kind of boring, because there's not really too much new information I can pass on until I get back and doing my regular contracts, and I'll be talking more about those. Okay, I'll be talking to you all later. Have a great evening. Bye.